All right, shalom, saints. All right, this is a quick inclement weather announcement. That's why we're not doing the prayer service tonight. The Ma'ariv prayer service has been canceled. You should be receiving an email from Sister Amber. If you're on the email list shortly, you should be receiving an email if you're on the email list with the details. Also, I posted it here on the YouTube community page, right? So if you're subscribed to our YouTube, you should get the inclement weather announcement, right? But just in case, we want to make sure everybody gets it. So I'm doing a short video really quick for our inclement weather, right? And I'm just going to read what I posted here in the community so everybody's aware of what's going on this weekend with the lessons, right? Because basically, we're not going to be live streaming. We're not going to be live streaming lessons again until next week, right? Next week. So, anyways, I'll lower. I think y'all should be able to see it, but I'll still put myself lower just in case. All right. So, anyways, here's an update. The entire state of Mississippi, except for the coast and beaches, is under a winter storm blizzard, a winter storm warning or a blizzard warning. The only part of the state that is not under that warning is the coast area and the beaches, like the beaches on the coast. They lucked out, and that's just like a narrow strip of the state. The rest of the state is either under a winter storm warning or a blizzard warning. So the entire state of Mississippi, except for the coast and beaches, is under a winter storm or blizzard warning from Friday at noon till Sunday night. We will have snow, ice, sleet, and freezing rain, with the northern portions of the state getting the worst. All right. Me and Amber, we live in the northern part of the state. This weekend's live streams are canceled, and we will be uploading pre-recorded lessons for the Sabbath. Also, tonight and tomorrow's live stream prayer services are canceled as we need to prepare for the weather. I guess I could put too much space there, so I'll fix it. Give me just a moment. When you post stuff, when you copy and paste stuff into YouTube, it gets wonky. So for our brothers and sisters in Kenya, because they had a Bible question in regards to the calendar, we will. I guess I'll do that for. I might either still keep it for next week's Mincha prayer service, or I'll just do it for our or I might just do it for our midweek Bible study on Tuesday. But the brothers and sisters in Kenya had a question about the calendar. They wanted further clarification on how the calendar works. So I was going to do a simple lesson on that for the Mincha tomorrow, but we're not going to be able to do that tomorrow. It's been canceled. So for our brothers and sisters in Kenya that asked that question, I'll probably do that for next week's midweek Bible study. So Babylon Tuesday night. All right. So anyways, I'll just start this over. The entire state of Mississippi, except for the coast and beaches, is under a winter storm and blizzard warning from Friday at noon till Sunday night. We will have snow, ice, sleet, and freezing rain, with the northern portions of the state getting the worst. We live in the northern part, me and Amber. This weekend's live streams are canceled, and we will be uploading pre-recorded lessons for the Sabbath. Also, tonight and tomorrow's live stream prayer services are canceled as we need to prepare for the weather. We personally have experienced 2 power outages from winter storms previously when we were living in Memphis, Tennessee. 4 and 2 years ago. The longest lasting for a week, and the other lasting for 2 days. Right. So we've had a power outage before because of these types of storms where it lasted for a week. We've also had it where it lasted for a couple days. We've also been snowed in before for days. So when it comes to these winter storms, we do not play around with winter storms, right? Or if it's going to be them severe summer storms as well. We don't play around with those because we've experienced the worst of the worst when it comes to that, right? So we don't play around with winter storm warnings or blizzard warnings. The deep south, so like Mississippi, Alabama, parts of Tennessee, right? They do not handle snowstorms or ice storms well. Roads become untraversable and everything shuts down. Right. So me and Amber need to spend tonight and all day tomorrow preparing. We need to purchase a generator, right? Because as we've mentioned before, we've had it where we've lost power before for a week. And we have to prepare for the worst, prepare for the worst, plan for the worst. Hopefully we don't have a power outage, but one could happen. We have a lot of trees around us with a lot of branches, and that could easily knock out the utility lines. We do have a lot of trees with a lot of branches, hanging over the power lines, right? And so we need to be prepared because like I mentioned before, 4 years ago, we went without power for a week and we didn't have a generator. So we're not going to be boo-boo the fool this time, right? So we need to go and make sure we can find the generator. And that's another reason why tomorrow's prayer services are going to be canceled, because tomorrow, first thing in the morning, 6 a.m., we're going to start hitting up. We already looked online and called, and they said that all the local places are sold out. But I'm going to hit them up in the morning anyway, just to double check. Maybe they restocked. If not, we're going to have to go on a mission to go and try to find a generator. And we're trying to get a good generator, one that's at least like 4,000 watts or 5,000 watts. Because like I said, we don't want to play around. We don't want to play around with these storms. We've been there, done that, and we're not trying to do that again. So I have in our inclement weather notice, me and Amber need to spend tonight and all day tomorrow preparing. We need to purchase a generator, but all of the local stores like Rural King, Tractor Supply, Harbor Freight, Lowe's, etc., are sold out. So tomorrow will be spent trying to find a generator somewhere in Mississippi, Alabama, or God forbid, Tennessee. And I already looked, Amber, is the outside the Memphis area, like in DeSoto, like Harbor Freight and Tractor Supply, like in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and in Collierville, Tennessee, they do show some generators in stock. So we're probably, if we can't find any here, like in Starkville or Columbus, we'll try Tupelo. If we're not able to find any in Tupelo, we'll have to go up there. I thought about it. I don't want to go to Alabama, like Tuscaloosa or Birmingham, even though that's a little closer, because since we're taking the van, if something happens with the van, I want to be where we're near family, just in case something happens, like if we have to call an aunt or uncle to come scoop us up if something happens with the van. So yeah, we'll probably, if there's not anything here in the Golden Triangle, which I already looked tonight and it's nothing available. People are scooping up. People in the South freak out when there's winter storms. They like purchase everything. And we watched the news today, and they already did news stories where like the grocery stores here, like in Tupelo and Columbus and Starkville, have been ransacked, like people buying up all the bread, water, eggs, milk, and all that. So and the winter storm's not really coming until the Sabbath. So me and Amber really need to go and hop on this to get prepared. All right, but anyways, we also need to stock up on groceries. Our house is all electric, so if the power goes out, we're screwed. So that's why we got to make sure we go and get a generator. Sorry for the inconvenience, but the church/synagogue is on inclement weather policy until next week. Thank you for your patience and consideration. Below are the warnings from the National Weather Service for Central Mississippi. Right, so that's the National Weather Service based in Jackson, Mississippi, and then the National Weather Service that covers North Mississippi, which is the one based in Memphis, Tennessee. All right. So for Central Mississippi and where we live, I'll show you on the map, but where we live is right at the border of what Central Mississippi covers, and then right at the border for North Mississippi. So you know, we'll probably get the worst of what Central Mississippi is going to get, and then for North Mississippi, we'll probably get the slight, hopefully, but you know, we'll see. But anyways, this is for Central Mississippi, and we do have members that live in that area as well, so they should heed this warning. Winter storm watch from Babylon Friday at noon until Sunday, Babylon Sunday at 6 p.m. Action recommended. Make preparations per the instructions issued by Jackson, Mississippi, United States National Weather Service. Affected area, portions of southeast Arkansas, northeast Louisiana, and central, east central, and north central, northeast, northwest, southwest, and west central Mississippi. So all of Mississippi except the coast. Description: winter storm watch remains in effect from Friday afternoon through Sunday afternoon. What to expect: heavy mixed precipitation possible, significant impacts from mainly ice and sleet accumulations in the watch area. And if anybody is familiar with this, ice and sleet is worse than snow. Also, too, if you're from, like, for our members that grew up in Chicago and like the Midwest and the Northeast, you're gonna find this savage. But we don't have everywhere, and Mississippi just doesn't have, and it's not just Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, they don't have snow plows on deck like that. There's only a few of those. So the roads become untraversable. And at best, they use the snow plows for like the interstate. If it's not the interstate, you're basically screwed. And the same thing with salting the road. They usually only salt the interstate. Anyways, I digress, but I don't digress. And also just to mention with this, part of this isn't normal for Mississippi. Part of this is the result of like the polar ice caps melting, right? There's no global warming. I guess it's not global warming. Like, you have warming in certain parts of the globe, and that's causing adverse weather conditions that may not be heat. You know, like here in the southern United States, it's cold. Like, and it is related to those polar ice caps, and it's also related to what Trump is, and this is a good thing, what Trump's trying to do with trying to get us Greenland to protect us from Russia and China. China and Russia manipulate the weather. So part of this is related to that. Like, they've advanced way beyond us when it comes to the United States, when it comes to weather modifications, and China routinely manipulates the weather as a weapon. And that's part of that's not the only reason why China and Russia are in the Arctic. There's other reasons, but that's one of the reasons, right? So that's why the last like 4 or 5 years, if you live in the deep South, like Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, you've been having wonky winters, right? That's not a coincidence, right? These wonky winters have been because of China and Russia manipulating the weather, and then also because of the polar ice caps melting, okay? Just for an example, last week, this is crazy what I'm about to tell you, but last week, okay, last week, southern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and southern Georgia, and like the coast of Mississippi got snow. Not the north, no parts of the northern, none of the northern parts of the state got snow. Like this is stuff that never happens. Like normally, if there's a winter storm and it hits Mississippi or Alabama, the northern parts of the state get the heavy snow and all that. Right. But last weekend, there was a brief dusting of snow, right, that only affected the coast, which that makes no sense. When I'm saying it makes no sense, it's not normal, right? So just warning you, we're in the last days. Things are getting real wonky, right? For real, they're getting real wonky, and it is what it is. But it like that is crazy. Okay, I've lived in the South for the majority of my adult life. And what I just explained to you, that's unheard of, right? It's unheard of for like New Orleans and Southeast Louisiana and the Gulf Coast of Mississippi and Alabama and the Gulf Coast of Florida and the southern part of Georgia to get snow. But then the northern half of Mississippi, the northern half of Alabama, the northern half of Georgia get no snow, right? So a lot of crazy stuff going on. But anyways, I digress. All right, it says here, impacts roads and especially bridges and overpasses will likely become slick and hazardous. Expect power outages that last more than a day and extensive tree damage due to the ice. Travel could be impossible. So now you understand why me and Amber have to go on a mission tomorrow and find the generator, because this is just a warning. Maybe it doesn't come to pass, but we've had it come to pass before. The worst possible scenario with not having power for a week, and we don't got time for that. All right, so like we're not playing that. All right, precautionary / preparedness actions. Monitor the latest forecast for updates on this situation. For our brothers and sisters in Kenya, another reason why I keep telling you, don't come here. Y'all got it good where you're at. Don't come here. Don't come here. All right. It's better where you're at. Stay there. All right. Person should consider delaying all travel. If travel is absolutely necessary, drive with extreme caution. Consider taking a winter storm kit along with you, including such items as tire chains, booster cables, flashlights, shovel, blankets, etc. And that's a real warning, because you can end up getting stranded on the interstate, on the highway, and you end up. I'm not talking about like because your car died, just because the road now is blocked and nobody can drive. Right? I've heard horror stories from people I've known, like from family and friends out here, in previous winter storms where they got stuck on Interstate 22, which used to be, I think, Highway 78, and getting stuck on Interstate 40 and being stuck on the interstate for like 15 hours, right? And you don't want to freeze to death, right? This one is for North Mississippi, but it was issued from the Memphis, Tennessee National Weather Service, which covers parts of North Mississippi, and we're technically in North Mississippi. All right, it says portions of East Arkansas, affected area, portions of East Arkansas, North Mississippi, Southeast Missouri, and West Tennessee. Description: winter storm watch remains in effect from Friday afternoon through Sunday afternoon. What to expect: north of the Tennessee/Mississippi state line, total snow and sleet accumulations greater than 3 inches, with ice accumulations up to 1/4 of an inch. And ice is what you really have to watch for, because the ice, it builds up on the tree limbs and things, and then those tree limbs snap and they break the power lines, right? That's it. The ice is worse than the snow. All right, south of the Tennessee/Mississippi state line, total snow and sleet accumulations greater than 2 inches, So it's not really a difference. With ice accumulations over 1/4 of an inch, where portions of East Arkansas, North Mississippi, Southeast Missouri, and West Tennessee. Wind from Friday afternoon through Sunday afternoon. Impacts. Expect weather-related power outages and tree damage due to the ice. Travel could be impossible. The hazardous conditions could impact the Friday evening commute. All right. I'm not going to read the rest of that, but just before I get out of here, because we also do have some members in other parts of Mississippi, like specifically the Vicksburg and Jackson area. Y'all are in it too. If you see on this thing, we're near where it says Columbus. That's where the Golden Triangle is, like Columbus, Starkville, West Point, Tupelo. So we live near where it says Columbus, and they're going to get some of the worst of it. Is this going to show the full picture? I thought it would show the full picture. All right, let me just pull it up then. All right, really quick. All right. So even we do have members in the Vicksburg and Jackson area, we're up here near Columbus. We're under the significant level 3, greatest potential for extended impacts from freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Right, and notice the whole state, except for the coast and the beach area, is under this warning. And then I'll get the rest of North Mississippi. For that one, I have to go to the National Weather Service based in Memphis. All right, winter storm watch, extremely dangerous travel conditions. All right, north, and it's basically, I'm not going to repeat this because it's the same things we already saw. But notice it's all blued out because this area is going to especially get snow. If you see on this map where it says Aberdeen, we live directly south of that. So this map, the one for North Mississippi, also covers where we live, is right underneath Aberdeen, and you see it all there, iced out in blue. So as Gucci Man used to say, brr, right? It's about to be cold. We're on inclement weather. Shalom Aleichem, and we'll see y'all next week with the live streams, right? And you can pray. Our prayer request is, I hate the cold. So the prayer request would be that somehow the Elohim does us a solid and there is no winter storm. That would be best case scenario. All right. Shalom Aleichem, and we will see y'all Im Adonai Yaira, if the Lord wills or provides, next week.